Okay, so general questions, right? Villain, what is OR on the river?
Open race.
Open race, okay. Villain open race, pre-flop, and we call. Villain check back on the flop, and we are now on the turn with top pair on a 4 connected board. How should we proceed? Okay. So these are now the options.
Yes.
10, 9, 8, 7, check fold, or bet 50 just to take the pot and to prevent being bluffed. Villain will have second chance to bluff us out if we check. Yeah, I mean, I don't, this is, okay, first of all, let me just likes. This is again like a super awkward spot, the first one, and I don't know if we should be turning our hand into a bluff or just check fold. I think just check folding is a bit too weak, so probably we should just go for bet half pot or something like that, I guess.
Twice?
Well, yeah, I mean, like, how do we want to play it? Like, bet half pot on the turn, then check fold the river?
Yes. Why not? What could be the villain bluffing range on the river if he calls on the turn?
Queen X? Uh,
Enough? Is it enough to check call on the river?
it's probably not enough, yeah. Yeah, so probably on this particular example, just bet turn and check fold the river. Yeah. The question is, I mean, do you think, we probably cannot fold out like two pair type of hands for sure. Can we fold
Yes,
out
yes.
a better 10 is the question.
We had talked about Super on the last session.
It's hard for him,
I remember. Yes, yes.
almost impossible. I mean, for half pot, if we bet bigger maybe, but I think then our bluff becomes a bit too expensive. So I guess the question with this particular example is, should we bet the turn at all or just check call or check fold? Any suggestions? Anyone? I think our hand is a bit too strong to turn it into a bluff and a bit too strong to just simply check fold.
Exactly. Exactly. You should say it.
So probably just bet half pot, I guess, because by betting half pot we don't allow him to bet more and to bluff us, I guess. I mean, how the fuck do you come up with those spots, man? I mean, do you really have a spot like this, or you just like invented it in your head, man?
No, no, no. I have a lot of spot in four connected boards lately.
Yeah,
So I was trying to figure out how to proceed on them.
I guess with 10 deuce, man, we should probably just bet half pot. By betting half pot, we prevent ourselves from getting the lazy bet bluffed. We also prevent ourselves from paying a bigger bet to like 10x, or, you know, like, let's say he has a set of nines, or I don't know, like 7-10 or some shit like that. Basically top pair or better. And just check fold the river, I guess. You're right, there are not enough bluffs. What if there was a flush draw? Then it's a little bit more complicated. What would you do then? If the flush draw comes on the turn,
Mm,
then it's a bit more shitty.
that's not what. Yes, I think I will do the exercise into the calculator, but I think I could check call more often because there will be more bluff in his range.
Probably we should be check calling on the river. Because we should also consider the fact that some portion of his jack X and some portion of his 6x is gonna bet the flop, right? So he shouldn't have all the 6x's and all the jack X's, because most of them are, not most of them, but at least some of them are gonna be betting the flop. So that leaves him with a very few value hands on the river, right?
Right, right, right. Agree.
So it's probably a call with a flush draw, but yeah, without a flush draw, I guess we just bet the turn and then just check fold the river.
The thing is, are you calling on the river if William bets like 3/4 of the pot and we check?
You mean if there is a flush draw?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I will. if I don't know anything about him. Again, like the main reason is that the flush comes on the turn, so like I don't expect him to bet even two-pair type of hand on the river for value, so I do expect him only to bet Jack-X and 6-X, and again, some of his Jack-X's and some of his 6-X's should be, okay, Sergey, turn off your mic, please, should be c-betting the flop, right, in general.
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of logical if he has an open and straight draw on the flop. If he has like a 6-X, he should be c-betting at least most of the time, at least most of the opponents. And again, some Jack-X are going to be c-betting, so that leaves him with even less combos of Jack-X's and 6-X's on the river, at least in my opinion, which is going to make me call a little bit lighter, especially when the flush draw breaks.
Yes, I agree.
Plus, you know, like we already talked about this, like the bigger the guy bets, obviously it's kind of ugly that we need to pay a bigger price, but this makes him even more polarized. And when you're finding yourself in a spot where either he's betting the nuts or complete bluff, you just gotta see how many nuts he has, how many bluffs he has, and most of the time you're gonna see that like it's super unbalanced, and he's gonna end up with a lot more bluffs than value, and we have a call. So I think I'm going to be check calling more. Again, like, this is a really, really awkward spot where you need to be playing against unknown and you have exactly this run out, and like, it's super shitty. Usually you can make an easier decision based on your opponent tendencies. I mean, like, all of these decisions that we're talking here are a lot more easy if we have a little bit of information more, right? I mean, like, something at least, you know, like 50 hands with him, you know, like, just a tiny piece of information, then we can make an easier decision. Okay, ace-4 on ace-king. Oh my god, man, what the fuck, man? I mean, okay, so you're check folding, like, I don't know, man. I don't know if we should be check folding here. Isn't this a bit too weak? Why would you check fold? Like,
yes, I thought that maybe there could be more queen in his range
I
that
agree,
could check on the flop.
but not all of them, in my opinion.
Yes.
You know, like, the queens that he's gonna have are maybe something like Queen Jack, Queen 10, and maybe, oh shit, wait, the ace comes on the river. Yeah, so he has something like, oh wait, I'm looking at another example. So he has something like Queen Jack, maybe King Queen, maybe, but most of them are gonna bet it. And Queen 10, I think Queen 9, Queen 8 and shit like that is gonna be c-betting this flop. I mean, like, the naked queens, they probably should. Again, I don't know. If we have some piece of information on the guy, then we can know. But like, the general population is, when they have a good shot and they are the razor pre-flop, they see bet, man, especially when it's such a board, right? Such a flop. Right?
Yes, right.
I mean, maybe this particular example was where the guy didn't see bet a queen, but again, like, the only queens that I see that are not c-betting here are like Queen 10 as a trap and Queen Jack. Even King Queen is a c-bet most of the time here, you know?
Yes, you're right.
And
so the best way to proceed here is as the board up here, right? By betting hard pot on the turn.
well, again, it's like one of those extremely shitty spots, man. Like, I don't know what do we want to accomplish when we bet half pot. Like, basically, probably
Exactly. The problem.
Yeah.
The problem here is on the hand at here there's a little bit of value against pair mass draws. On this hand there's nothing of value by betting.
Well, yes and no. I mean, when we bet half pot, King 9 is gonna call, Jack 9 is gonna call, maybe, you know, like Ace 7 is gonna call, with which we split, but I mean, he might bet it bigger or some shit like that, you know, and we just gotta fold. Like, if we check, we gotta fold. With that one, I agree. You know, I don't like a line where we check call and then what the fuck are we doing? So I guess we bet half pot for pretty much the same reasons. I think a lot of kings are gonna call half pot, although it's a 4-card straight. Maybe a jack is a little bit more optimistic, and we also prevent ourselves from getting a random bluff by 7-8 or some shit like that. Because like when we, so basically I think we should be betting now. Because like if he has a hand like 7-8 and we check twice, he's probably gonna bet it and we gotta fold, probably.
Yes.
So I guess just bet half pot in this extremely awkward spot and, and just check fold the river, because like when you think about it, on the turn when you bet half pot and he calls and he bets the river, he's not gonna bet the river with king 9. So he's gonna bet the river with something like exactly those hands, like if he doesn't raise it on the turn, like queen 10, queen jack. Maybe he'll find a heart or a value bet with like king 10 or like ace 10 or something like that. But he's not gonna bet a hand like ace 7 with which you split or something like that, right? He's gonna check it back. So probably just bet half pot and then just check fold the river. Pretty much the same spot.
Okay.
Yeah. And like the next example is pretty much the same, I think, right? I mean, probably in the probably with even more possibilities here, right? That he's gonna check call more. Check call once,
yes,
more likely. Yeah, I mean, like this is a similar example to this one, but it's a little bit like the cards are mixed up, so there are a little bit more hands that he's gonna bet with, or like like 9x and shit like that. Well, 9x no, but well, I mean, like.
So can we summarize? Can we summarize these hands in this way? Wherever we have the opportunity to bet small and control the size of the bet, with a hand like this and prevent blind bluff it, we take that opportunity.
Against unknown, yes. Like I don't like none of those lines are like I'm not in love with those lines. Like I'm not even sure what the best line is when you ask me. So like I think that exactly in all of those spots after a 50-hand match or like a 40-hand match, you would know what to do exactly versus your opponent type. Now, if it's a complete unknown, probably the better option, so that you protect yourself against all kinds of bullshit, is just to bet half pot, right? But I don't like it, like don't quote me on that. That's what I'm trying to say, It's like I cannot decide on myself what the best line is here, I mean, we're discussing it with you. It's not like something that I have out of like my book of secrets or something like that, It's just something that we're trying to figure out. And to me, at least, I think probably the best way is just to bet half pot, because I don't like check calling with top pair on such runouts. And if he bets the turn like this turn or this turn with 7-8, he's not gonna check back the river most likely. He's gonna try to wrap it. So I don't like check calling the turn in any case.
Yes, that's a good point.
But again, like all the spots are bleh. So when like why the fuck are we betting on the turn? It's like a really tough question to be answered. Are we betting for value? Are we betting to not get bluffed, or like are we betting for protection? Or like what the fuck, man? I mean, like I really cannot answer this question. A little bit of everything, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah.
There's in the middle.
Yeah, it's in the middle, but again, it's like it's a super tough spot, and this spot is gonna appear only against a complete unknown, like the first 20 hands. Like after that, you can definitely decide what to do, and you can easily check fold versus some guys, and easily check call down versus some guys, and easily bet twice for value versus other guys. Like if you have like the crazy calling station, probably the best play would be just to bet twice, man. I mean, or like once at least. Not twice, but once. Twice a little bit exaggerated. But you get the idea. Okay, villain limps pre-flop, and we isolate him with jacks. The board is jack 9-8 suited. 10 deuce. Does the flush complete?
No.
Okay. We see bet 75% on the flop. How do we proceed from the turn? This, I have discussed this with my coach back in the days, man. It's like another very, very...
You just asked me.
What?
Yes.
Very, very tough.
You just asked me something similar in Skype.
Mm-hmm.
I did this question before. So my main question is to make the differentiation, uh, to make the difference. With two pairs, is it better to bet on this
No
kind of
betting.
turf
No
just
betting.
because it's less resistant, right?
No betting, man. I guess the best option would be to check the turn in all situations, just for simplicity. Check call, by the way. Just for simplicity. Like, if we bet, we expose ourselves to raises. Obviously, we are block betting with 50, but on the other hand, we expose ourselves to raises. We don't know how he's going to react with the flush draw. We don't know, like, anything. Obviously, this is an unknown, so we don't know anything, right? So I guess the ultimate option here should be just to check call with the hand that we have. What do you think for that?
I didn't understand that. Would the ultimate option?
The best option.
Ah, okay. Yes. With set, yes, but with something like two pairs, we on the last coaching we discussed that the best was to bet on the turn.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, that we can just change that for simplicity, because in the last coaching we were trying to really make it to the milli decision and everything, like what if we have this and this and this, like just for simplicity, whenever we have a strong two pair or a set, it's better to take a check call line. All right.
Okay.
I think that makes most sense, because I don't want to bet fold my top two pair. I don't want to bet call with my sets. And I
Why
think,
not?
well,
Because
because,
with two pairs we have an easy bet fold. An easy bet fold just because the four connected board. But with set we is a more resistant hand, so we
yeah,
can bet call.
yeah, but like it's a very nasty spot, man. Because like at the end, what is he raising you with? Why should we blow up the pot in a spot where he's gonna raise us most of the time only with better hands, right? I mean, he's not gonna raise me with the flush draw most of the time. Obviously, sometimes he is, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yes.
why should we bet? Like, even if he does this with the flush draw, it's a very ugly spot for us, because like imagine the scenario where we have like the set of jacks like here, and there is a flush draw as well, right? So we decide to bet the turn,
Yes.
but because we bet 75% on the flop and now we bet 50% on the turn, and the guy sitting with, let's say, ace queen with the flush draw, or queen x, sorry, not ace queen, but like ace king with the flush draw, or let's say ace 3 with the flush draw, right? And this time
Yes.
he sees some kind of weakness, and maybe he thinks, well, now I'm gonna raise, and he raises, and then the river is a brick, and he ends up with a brick flush draw. Do you think he's gonna check it back?
No.
Yeah, he's probably gonna jam. So we probably, again, like, we're talking how we would probably play it, or like how people should play it, right? I mean, you start with the bluff, you gotta finish up with the bluff, right? I mean, like, if you raise the turn, you gotta jam the river, even if it's a brick, man. I mean, there's so much dead money, and you have ace high, right? Same as if he has something like 6-7 with the flush draw. So now he thinks, okay, now I have, okay, 6-7 is a straight, actually, 5-6. So now again, like, he has 6 high and a flush draw, so maybe he'll decide to raise, and then he jams the river, and then we lose a lot of value, you know. So I think that whenever there is a flush draw, we're just gonna check call the turn and probably check call the river if the river is a brick, and if the river completes, we just check fold, because there are no more bluffs.
Okay.
What do you think
Okay.
about that?
Yes, I like it. But the thing is, with two pairs, are you playing the same check calling twice?
Probably check. I mean, that's
Because the
yeah.
problem with two pair is that it is less resistant hand. So it will be awkward to to face a big bet on the turn
Yeah.
and in most of cases because we can call for odds and outs and we can realize our equity most of the time by check calling on the turn because we're gonna face another big bet on the river too.
We should
So
probably just draw the line with top 2 pair plus. All right. I think that's a good indicator, because he still is gonna bet sometimes on the turn 2 pair type of hand together with his draws. And when we beat all of those, we expect him to check the river his value that we beat most of those. Plus we can hit the full house. Plus, we don't know if he's bluffing 100% twice. This is also another thing. You know, we assume, but it's not a fact, right? It's just an assumption. So I think we just draw the line with top 2 pair plus as a check call, check fold line. And with a set, I think it's a very thin line, man. It's a very thin line, because like with the set I want to check call, check fold if the flush completes, but if the flush breaks I want to check call with the set.
Yes, that I like that. Yes, that's what I would do.
Well, with top 2 it's also pretty close. I think we should be check calling the turn with top 2 pretty much always, and then on the river we should just probably check fold. Now we don't even beat the sets. We don't know. I mean, I don't know if he's betting sets, probably not. But at least when we have a set, we beat those, you know. So it's just this a little bit of extra equity that we have against his value. So we just probably check call the turn, check fold the river with top 2. And every other 2 pair type of hands we should just probably fold.
Okay. With other two, let's say we have a weak 2 pairs, the best is to play it like a top pair, right?
Yeah.
Betting just 50 to prevent a big bluff and then check fold, right?
It's really close, man. I don't know what would be the best play. Like, as I said, listen, man, like the last lecture, in the last session, we totally discussed every single freaking spot, and at the end it got very confusing. In my opinion, honestly, on 4 connected cards, we should be continuing with hands like top pair plus. At least I will be drawing the frequency there, top 2 plus. Obviously, you can continue with Jack 9 as well. I mean, it's not like the end of the world, you know, but like if you have a hand like 8-9, just digit, man, just fold it, you know. I think we're gonna get in a very shitty spots if we continue with bottom 2. You know, so basically the things that we talked last time, obviously if you go really sophisticated, you can use them to some extent, but I think we're gonna be fucking up a lot. We're gonna meta game fuck up a lot if we try to divide them and play them the way we said we're gonna play them. So whenever there is a 4-card straight and you're playing against unknown, obviously if you're playing against an aggressive bluffer, you're gonna call with even with 8-9, right? But like if it's unknown, let's draw the frequencies with something like top 2 plus, or maybe like Jack 9 plus or something like that, right?
Great.
I think
check call on the turn.
Yeah.
And check call on the river is the flash draw miss.
Well, that one I'll do only with sets. Probably with 2 pair I'm gonna be folding.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm saying probably every single freaking time, because even if I had like a small hinge about his betting, like the way he bets or the sizes that he chooses or the way he plays, that's why I'm saying probably I'll be folding. Because like if I don't know absolutely anything about the guy, then I'll just draw the frequency with sets plus to check call. But if I know just a little bit, I'll just adjust accordingly. And if I think that he's bluffing a lot, obviously I'm going to be check calling twice with those hands.
Perfect.
But yeah, it's a frequency thing. I mean, some of you guys, if you think that you want to do that with Jack 8, it's not the end of the world. Important is not to do it with 8-9 or some shit like that, because this is already a bit too loose. I mean, it's just those type of spots, we really dissect them a lot, which I kind of like. But again, it's not like a spot where you're gonna be making thousands of money. It's like spots that, you know, like this is like the gray area, you know. It comes so rare that
yes, the problem with that spots is that we can lose a lot of money if we misplay it.
Yeah, well, the easiest way is then just to check fold the turn a lot of the time. You know, you lose almost anything, almost nothing, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, what's the most logical play then? I mean, just continue with sets and top 2 plus and that's it. I mean, like super tight. I mean, come on, man. At the end, it's like a 4-card straight, you know. So just continue super tight and you're not going to be losing money. That's as easy as that, you know. Obviously, sometimes you're gonna get bluffed, but you know, like, it's poker, man. You're gonna get bluffed like thousands of times during your poker career, man. So
Perfect.
so draw the line tighter. Like if you want to sum it up as you want to do it in a sentence, on a 4-card straight board, just proceed very, very tight with top 2 pair plus with a check call line. And if if there is a flush draw and it breaks, you can call down with sets plus. That's it. I think.
Perfect.
I think like that's the easiest way to approach it. And again, like every single example that you gave here, you can use every single thing you said here if you know something about your opponent, you know, like, so as a general, what we said, you know, top 2 and sets. And if you know more about your opponent, just adapt, man. And that's it. Like, that's how you make money. It's not like when you have a hand, when you have this situation, you know, or like when you have this situation, the first 20 hands, fuck it, man, just fold it, you know, or like don't bluff, you know. Fuck this situation, you know. Like, it's important when you have this situation after 100 hands that you know what the fuck your opponent is doing, and then you can make the right play, you know.
Perfect.
Okay, what do you consider? What do you consider not very good, good, and very good win rate? And does it depend of the stakes also? Under 5 big B is not good, yes. 10 BB, okay, so I would say that the regular win rate is around 10 BB for most of the guys that choose their opponents. 15 BB is a very good win rate. 15 BB plus is a very, very good. So basically what you say here, yeah, I think this is kind of weak. And this means that you're doing something very, very wrong. This is, I would say, the average. So like 8 to 12 probably depends. Like, I mean, again, I'm not sure of what I'm saying right now because I can talk only about myself. I haven't looked into other people's win rates, except like 2 or 3 other guys. But I don't have it statistically proven of what I'm saying right now. But I would say around 10 because like. If you have 8, that's not bad. You know, that's like, the problem is that you're not table selecting completely great, or if you are, this means that you're fucking around somewhere else. If you have 10, I would say you're like around the average. If you have 15, this means that you're table selecting very good and that you're doing something right. That's a very, very good. Like, this is awesome. But this should be like over at least 5 months sample or something like that, because I have had months with 37 big blinds win rate, man, obviously running hot. And I have had months with 3 big blinds win rate, obviously running bad and playing bad, not only running bad. But the average was 15 for me back in the days. So I guess we should go to the hands. I would say everything above 12 is outstanding. Everything above 12 is outstanding, I would say. Marvolio, you know him, guys. He has 18. I don't know right now, but like after 8 months in BPC or something like that, he had 18 big blinds win rate, man. But he's like table selecting like crazy. That's why he plays so many hours. But the problem with him is that he had like 5 websites or something like that for a very long time. So he was picking his competition very, very tight and making huge win rates, which was like insane. Okay, main 3 bet pots. Hero raises to the guy. Well, I mean, this is, man, like this is, you know, like I don't know where we put this in the min 3 bet or in the normal 3 bet. It's like somewhere in the middle. So, you know, whenever it's like 2.5x, I wouldn't treat it as a complete min bet. You know, like a min bet is if he makes it 3 big blinds or like maximum 4 big blinds. So this here is like not the weakest of the weakest cheat in the world, I would say. It's probably a little bit towards value, but maybe it's kind of a like, listen, man, first of all, I'm discussing what this is, but I have no fucking idea what it is, all right? So if I have to assume, I would say there's some kind of a merge range, something like a range that includes hands like Jack 10 suited, 8-9 suited, 8-7 suited, ace king, ace queen, aces, kings, queens, and shit like that. You know, like I don't think that this range includes hands like ace deuce off or like 7-4 off or like 7-3 suited. And whenever they min 3-bet, I think they have 100% of their hands or like 90%. You know, so that's the difference.
His free bet is 46. So does it mean anything?
Oh, okay, 111 hands. Okay, so this means that probably this also includes every suited ace. Well, it includes, man, 50% of the hands that he plays, so it's a lot, man. But it still makes sense, the sizing that he chooses, because if he has a strategy of 3-betting 50% of the hands that he is involved in, this means that he needs to be 3-betting with a smaller sizing. So he's not going to be 3-betting the standard 7 big blinds or 6 big blinds. So like if we have to talk about this at all, I don't know if it's necessary, because obviously this guy, well, I mean, by the way, there are some regs that have like extremely high 3-bet percentage. Obviously they're very unbalanced and bad, but they crush the small limits because they're over aggressive. So with this thing here, I mean, if he's a thinking player, he's using a good strategy for the percentage that he's 3-betting. You know what I mean? Like he needs to, like let's put it like this: if you're playing 100% of your hands and you're opening, you need to be opening 2x, right? Like if you're opening 70% of the hands, you need to be opening 3x. You're opening tighter, so your range is stronger, therefore you can open with a higher sizing, right? So it's absolutely the same logic with the 3-bet. So if you're 3-betting 20% or like 15%, you're going to be 3-betting 7 big blinds or 6 big blinds, right? Now if you 3-bet 30 or 40%, or like in this extreme 46, obviously you can lower your sizing. Again, I don't know if this guy knows that. So anyways, I don't know why you called here. I think you have a pretty easy 4-bet. I'm probably gonna even 4-bet against 100 big blinds. Well, not probably, but like for sure. Well, not for sure. I mean, it's like whenever you play against 100 bigs, you can take a flop in position, because actually it's better, because his range is just gonna be so wide that whenever you hit like an ace or a queen, you can easily stack off, all right? And win a lot of money, because he's going to have a lot of aces and queens which are weaker than yours, right? But against this stack and not so much post-flop playability, I mean, it's pretty close. Like 50 bigs is, you can definitely pump it up with 50 bigs. But yeah, I mean, you know, you can play it both ways. You can make arguments for calling here and taking it post flop versus his range. It's not bad at all. You're not gonna be shallow. You have easily 3 streets of value. So actually, probably at the end it makes better. This hand plays better as a call. But if you don't feel comfortable playing post flop with a hand like this, you can easily get it in, all right? Pre-flop versus him. But I think you'll win more money if you call, honestly. So let's see what happens post-flop. The guy checks, you bet 8 and he calls. And then on the turn, the guy checks, you bet 20 and he jams and you fold. Why?
I think it's bad, but I folded.
What?
I think it's bad, but I folded.
You think it's bad? Is that what you say?
Yeah.
Why?
I think I can call. I need...
You have written here as well, yeah. Okay, so first of all, what you have written here is like completely right. But again, like you especially, you can definitely go for a call pre-flop, okay, and take a flop. But for the more the guys that doesn't have enough experience, you can stack off with this hand versus such a high 3-bet percentage easily. Okay, so explain to me, why do you think it's bad?
On one hand, he has seems like a very strong range, but on the other hand, we only need, like, I think it was 26%.
Mm-hmm.
So against this not range, I mean 2 pair sets flushes, and
How much do we
king
need
high
against?
flush draw.
How many?
Again,
Yeah. How many percent do
we
we
have
go?
22. We need 26.
Uh-huh.
I mistyped it.
Okay, and how much? And we have only 22 against a value range, right?
Yes.
All right. What is his value range? Let me see what you have given him. This is two pairs, sets, flushes, trades, nut flush draws, plus nut flush draw. So this is not.
Yeah. It's like a king high flush draw.
Aha. So a king plus a flush
Second
draw.
pair plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think that if he has a hand like ace 10 of clubs, he's not gonna jam it? Ace and a 10 of clubs.
Yeah, probably.
What about ace with a 9 of clubs?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. What about queen of clubs and a 9 of diamonds?
Yeah.
What about queen of clubs and jack?
Yeah, it's easy for him.
Probably not. I mean, like, I don't know exactly. What I'm trying to say is that, first of all, you have missed two hands that I think that he's gonna jam here, and those are ace X with a club. Like, I'm not even giving him ace of clubs 7, ace X with a 7 of clubs and with a 6 of clubs and with a 5 of clubs. Like, if you give him all the aces, which I think it's definitely reasonable, because, like, look at his stack, man. I mean, you're betting 20 big blinds and he has 33 behind and he's sitting there with ace and a 5 with a 5 of clubs. I mean, obviously he can just call, but, you know, like, some of those he's gonna be jamming for sure, right?
Yeah.
So if he has ace 5 without a club, I think maybe he'll just call. But I think ace 5 with a club, ace 9 with a club and ace 10 with a club, I think he's gonna call. He's gonna jam. I don't know what he's doing with a 7 to deuce with a club, right? But what I'm trying to say here is that I think that you're missing a lot of like. I think that he's gonna be thinking that he's jamming for value there, especially with ace 10 and ace 9, right? And I don't see those hands here. Now,
I added, in the end, I added the ace queen, ace 10, and ace 9, and then I got 28%.
mm-hmm. And these are the value hands, right? And if you add just the two bluffs, like queen 9 and maybe queen 8 with a queen of club, you know, or something like, or like queen jack or like king queen with the queen of clubs or something like that. When you add those, you're probably gonna jump to like 33 or even more. I don't know exactly, but I think you have a pretty easy call.
Yeah.
And if you add hands like ace7 to ace deuce with a club, then you're making already a humongous mistake by folding. And I think that some of those he's gonna be jamming, honestly. And I think he has every single one of those because he's 3-betting a lot. I mean, I think that like the range that you're giving him here is way too nutted. Like, first of all, let's think if he has flushes. Now, obviously, sometimes he's gonna have some flushes because he doesn't c-bet all of them on the flop. But the majority is that he's gonna be c-betting those, right? Like most of the guys, when they have a flush draw, they c-bet it. And look at that, bet 3 streets with open and straight draw. This means that he's betting with his draws. So I think we can exclude clubs, man. You have written here flushes, but man, honestly, I don't think he has a flush. Almost never, right? Like, look how he plays his draws. And do you think that if he has the nut here, he's gonna jam? Maybe, but maybe not. Anyways, this is an important note for the draws, that the way he plays his draws. And so yeah, I mean, like, you can exclude half of the flushes that he has, at least half. Maybe you can just add the lower ones and exclude the higher ones, all right? And you're gonna have like probably around 40% equity, man. So you gotta be calling. You gotta be calling here. I think you're giving him, like, I have seen you, I mean, I love that you're giving ranges in all of your hands, but if I'm not mistaken, I think I have said this also to you in past coachings, maybe I didn't, but I think that you're giving them like way too, like, very, very tight ranges. I think you're a little bit off with the ranges that you set them.
Yeah.
Especially with the
Probably.
stack size that he has. Yes, we know they don't raise withdrawals, etc., etc., etc. But look at this guy. He's for 3-betting 46%, man. I mean, you know, we can assume that, and to have this thing here, you know, we can assume that he has at least a handful of bluffs that include the queen of clubs. Like, I'm 1 gazillion percent sure, man. You know, like if he has something like queen 6, well, probably, let's say queen 7, you know, because I don't know what is 46%, but let's just, and I don't know what his 46% include, but let me just get like somewhat of an idea if he's gonna be 3-betting with queen 7 off. Okay, so okay, it's like very, very borderline. Again, I don't know, maybe it's something like that. You know, you never know. So like if he has a hand like queen 7 in his 3-betting range, and with a queen of clubs especially, he might check the flop because he thinks it's too weak or whatever, and then the club comes and now he has a good shot with a flush draw. So it's a pretty easy jam for him. I don't know if he has that. I'm pretty sure he has queen 9 though, for sure, and queen 8 as well. I don't know how he plays queen 8 on the turn, but I mean, you get my point, right? Like, about the bluffs.
Yeah.
So anyone agrees or disagrees here? And especially this note here, man, it's like super important so that you can exclude a lot of flushes that, like, all of the flush draws are still betting the flop pretty much. I would say 99%, you know, especially with this note.
Yeah.
Called top pair, middle kicker, 3 streets on no very dry board.
Drawy.
Very dry board, okay. Yeah, they don't fold top pair. Yeah, I mean, I would say that here he has either 2 pair plus type of hand, um, maybe some flush draws, and I think ace 10 and ace 9 with a club are definitely in there. Without a club, he's just probably gonna call. But again, it's a very thin thing because like his stack is just so small that if he has ace 10 without a club, he might think, okay, now it's time to jam. Probably not though, but you know what I mean. Okay, so yeah, we gotta stack off with this one. And I don't
Okay,
see
but
what?
if he would have 100 pp and let's say he raises like 55,
Mm-hmm.
like check raises,
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
what happens then?
It's a bit more complicated. It's a bit more tough, man.
Yeah.
At that point, I'll probably
Yeah.
look also into his turn check raises, and it's gonna be really, really tough. But I think his range is gonna be a little bit tighter. I think that the most important thing here is that he's just so short that he's gonna be jamming some queen X's here, which gives us the right price to call. Whenever he's deeper, I think we can find a fault versus this line. And I will just put him into a more value-heavy category when we don't have a club. If we have a club, we should probably just stack off.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
it's just tough. But with this awkwardness here, I think we gotta go with our hand. And again, like, don't forget, it's a 46% 3-bet. He's just gonna be so freaking wide here, like, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right, Ace King of Hearts, 3. The guy. Okay, so this is like a legit min 3-bet, and you make it 24. I like it. I like the sizing, man. It's fucking awesome. Like if you can make it even 29 at some point, like if he calls you here, the next time you're in this situation, go for 29. You know, that's how you make it bigger and bigger. Like whenever you're playing against the habitual min 3-better, and you raise your 3-betting size, over a longer period of time, just try to get it to the max as much as you can. You know, if you can make it to 39, do it to 39. You know.
Okay, yeah.
But other than that, I just love it. It's huge. I mean, it's like super, because like some guys here are gonna make it like 15 or 20, which I think is a huge mistake. So I like it. He calls. I don't like the C bet. Like, would you play it the same now, or would you play it differently? What do you think?
I think I'm gonna stack off anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe I should bet bigger.
Yeah, I mean, let's. It's really interesting now. In general, in those spots, I'm just betting bigger and calling off. Like we have 49 left, so I'm just gonna bet like 35 and just call. But let's think if it's not better actually to bet 24 and call. It's probably actually better when I think about it. You know what? I think your play is actually better.
Why?
You tell me.
To induce something.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. Like, let's put it like this, man. If he has a hand like, first of all, he might, like, when you bet small and the guy thinks that that is full equity, he might spaz off with a hand like ace-9. Honestly. With like ace of diamonds. Like, I have seen it hundreds of times. Usually I see it with 2 overcards. Like, let's say the board is something like 8-9-5 or like 8-9 deuce, and the guy has ace-jack or like ace-queen. Usually I see it with those cards. But I don't exclude the situation. Like, whenever you're gonna stack, like think of it like this. Are you going to make a better hand fold here if you bet bigger?
Probably not.
Like, it's really close, because like if we bet 35, is like a hand like pocket 8s or pocket 9s. First of all, probably he doesn't have pocket 9s all that often, but like pocket 8s, pocket 7s, pocket 6s, do you think those are gonna fold if you bet bigger?
Maybe even.
Yeah, maybe.
Not sure.
Maybe. I mean, you're like probably betting bigger at the end is better. Like I'm just thinking about. By the way, I'm always betting bigger here. I'm just now I'm thinking a little bit different due to other circumstances. So I'm just thinking what is better if we plan to bet call. And when you think about it, like if he jams, if we bet 24 and we induce a jam like pocket 8s or pocket 7s, we gotta see what kind of equity do we have against those hands. I would say we have 6, 10. We have like 45% equity. So I think it's still better just to bet 24. Because even if we induce against like pocket 8s and pocket 7s, I don't fucking care. You know, we still have 45% equity if I'm correct. And I think I'm correct. Against 7s. Up. 5 of diamonds, 10 of hearts, up. Jack of hearts, 10 of diamonds. What? Oh my god, I click clear. Fuck me. It's probably 42 to 45, I would say. Well, let's put it against this. And then against overall 7s. 5 of diamonds, 10 of hearts, 10 of diamonds. 43, yeah. And against random 7s, it's probably 42, maybe 40. 42, yeah, 41 and a half. Okay, so I mean, it's pretty close. It's really close because, like, if he has a 5 or pocket 7s, pocket 8s, pocket 6s, and hands like that, we have 42% equity, right? If he has a jack or a 10, he's not gonna fold anyways, right? And but if he has a hand like ace-9 or probably with ace-queen, he's still not folding, I guess. But like ace-9, ace-8 with a diamond, he might see it as a weakness and spaz off. And we're just putting our money with huge equity, right? Against against a random ace-9, you know?
Yeah.
So if we assume that he might be doing that, what do you think about it, guys? I mean, like, honestly, the standard here should be to bet like 35 and stack off. But do you think we're going to induce a jam from ace-9 with an ace of diamonds, for instance?
Could be.
I think so. I mean,
Given the stack to pot ratio we have, we are all in two street. So I really like to bet small on the flop to just to induce spas, and this way we have more full equity on the turn too.
we forget something else. Queen-8 and 7-8. Those two hands we forget. You know, the good shots. We can induce from those as well. You know, like,
Yeah.
this is like something super important. I mean, if the guy jams Queen-8, you know, or like, if we bet 35, the guy's never gonna jam a Queen-8, or he's never gonna jam a 7-8. But like, if we bet half pot, I don't see why not, you know.
I was even thinking about betting smaller than hard pot.
I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, I don't mind, honestly. I just,
I think if Fish,
yeah.
I think if Fish calls it's such a big 4-bet, he would never fold to 8-7 here. He would try to do something with that.
Yeah, but like, if we bet
And
35, do you think he's gonna?
Yeah.
He's gonna fold.
Yeah, he probably gonna fold. If you bet half pot, maybe he think like, oh, okay, maybe it's a weakness, and I have a gut shot, and how can I fold? But I don't like to call. I just jam.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree. So that being said, I think you probably just chose the best bet size, because again, like, I'm guilty of that. That like, every single time I'm in this spot, I just bet 35 here and stack off. But when I bet 35, the guy's not gonna give me his chips with 7-8. Whereas when I bet 24, he might call, or he might even jam, you know. And once I have decided on this particular board texture to stack off, I don't see a reason not to induce a little bit. Betting smaller, I don't mind Andrews, but the problem, like, whenever we play a fish, I think we should have like two general sizes, like half pot and 2/3 or 3/4. Betting smaller is also not a problem. Just I don't talk about this all that much, because we are getting into a completely different direction. And it gets a lot more complicated. Man, when you have a lot of different bet sizings, it gets way too complicated. It's not for everyone. But you can go smaller. Don't go super small, though. At least, like, I would say 35% or more, like 1/3.
Okay, cool.
And just jam any turn. Okay, so 24, the guy raises, you call, and that's it. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, obviously this is, you're hitting his value range here, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. What to do if flop is Jack 5-8? All right. So, what do you think, guys?
I thought we should bet half pot and fold.
Okay. Why?
I think we can give up right away.
Okay. I mean, like, you gotta tell me like some arguments for your place. You know, like.
Well, I know this from the videos. In 4-bet pots in general, we give up in such a board. This is not a 3-bet pot where we can bet half pot and then continue on the turn.
Yeah, it's a little bit more bloated. I completely agree, because like, usually it's gonna be like 15 big blinds in, and at the moment we have 50 big blinds in the pot, right? Usually a 3-bet pot is gonna be something like, you know, like 15 bigs, maximum 20 if we 3x at 3. So any
Yeah, so 4-bet.
Yeah.
We made a huge 4-bet. So on this type, this is just completely different. There's no. Just not like a normal 3-bet pot.
Yeah, I mean, like, also think of what we talked about this particular board texture, right? I mean, like, this is like the 4-bet pot, and we talked about that we're trying to induce some good shots. Like, look how many good shots are there, man. Like, imagine how many things he's gonna be jamming, right, when we bet half pot. And we just don't have a good enough equity in the hand to continue, in my opinion. So after we dissected this board texture, I think that on this board texture we can safely give up. What do you guys think?
Yes, agree.
Anyone else?
I'm thinking in betting half pot and shamming on a 10, queen, ace or king on the turn.
I agree with that. The only problem, like I agree with this strategy, especially in 3-bet pots, I like it a lot. The only problem, like in 4-bet pots, is that, again, like this particular board texture here is so gut shot heavy. And we talked about that, like we hope that he jams like a hand like Queen 8 or 7-8. Imagine how many gut shots are here that he might jam. Just think of that, man. And you gotta fold on the flop. So if you wanna play this board, you gotta bet like big and just call if you wanna play this one. All right.
With gut shots, are you referring to queen 9 and queen 10 mostly,
Not only
right?
that. Not what do you mean mostly? So the guy is a min 3 better. I'm not referring only to those. I'm referring to hands like 7-9 suited, 6-9 suited for sure, 10-7 suited for sure, 10-9 suited for sure, maybe even 10-9 offsuit. Man, those guys don't fold those hands. Don't fool yourself. He's not gonna fold 7-9 suited. Never fucking ever. Pre-flop.
Okay, in that case, could be better to give up.
I think everyone here will agree that if he has a hand like 9-7 suited, he's not gonna fold it pre-flop. And I think that if he has like 9-7 of spades, of diamonds, or of clubs, he's not gonna call half pot. He's probably gonna jam and try to attack our weakness, weak bet. I mean, at least.
Yes.
Yeah,
Another good reason to check here is that maybe he have a weaker ace and he check down too, and we win on the river.
That's also important, yes. Now, it's going to be interesting if one of those cards was a heart. Then I think we can put it in a calculator. I'm not going to do it now because I want to do at least one more hand, but like you can guys do it for yourself. Just throw in all of the good shots. I'll even throw good shots like 6-4 suited, probably. Hands like 6-7 suited for sure. Hands like 6-9 suited for sure. 6-4, you can put it in one example, and in another example you can take it off. It's a little bit weaker. I still don't think that the guy that min 3 bets is going to fold a 6-4, especially when he's min 3 betting 21%. You know, they just don't fold there, man. Like, I know it's a huge 4-bet, but he doesn't see it like that. He sees, oh man, you know, I have a suited connector, and I read that Doe Brunson said in his super system book that with suited connectors I can make a lot of money, so I'm gonna call. You know, that's how they think and that's how they play. No, that's how I have played when I start, man. I see a suited connector, I see 4-3 of hearts, man, and then I call a 5-bet because I don't give a fuck. You know, I know that I can win a lot of money with this hand, and that's true, man. You know, like, I don't know how you guys started, but back in the days, that's how I was thinking as well. So I don't think he's folding 6-4 suited almost never pre-flop. And you can just play around and give him all the good shots, all the suited good shots. And of the offsuit combos, I would give him queen off, queen 9 off, queen 10 off, and 10-9 off. Because these are like the suited cards that he's also never, not suited but connected cards that he's also never folding pre. And just play around and see if you have ace, king of hearts, and there is one card on the board, if we shouldn't be like betting 35 and calling off, right? Basically this line here, but with a 35 bet, right? Just stack off on the flop by betting bigger. Or actually betting smaller is probably better because then we induce from all of the good shots. Yeah, betting half pot, calling off.
One question, Ivan.
Yes.
I was thinking about what you said about 6-4 and 9-7 of his calling preflop. Do we really think that general population will call here that Mitrievets, right? General population that Mitrievets will call here with such a hands versus this high 4-bet.
Yes.
This big 4-bet.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a min 3-bet pot, man. Everything starts from there. You know, like, first of all, when they min 3-bet, they almost never fold to 4-bets, man. And that's why probably somewhere in the videos is set, or like somewhere in the other, I don't know if it's set in the standard videos or in some of the other videos about villain adaptation. Whenever the guy min 3-bets you, you can 4-bet him huge, man. Huge, you know, and that's the right play. That's why in the beginning I really make emphasis on the bet size. I think he's gonna be continuing with the majority of his hands. I think he's gonna be folding only his shit like 7-4 off and shit like that. If he has a suited connector, especially if it's one gapper like 9-7 or 6-4, he's never gonna fold, man. And like by never, obviously I'm talking about the general population. And I think that, I mean, like, I don't know what is your experience with it, but mine at least is they just don't fold those hands. It doesn't matter the bet size here, you know. It's just how they think, man. Oh, you know, like the suited connector, man, I'm gonna win a lot if I hit. No, no, but it's like that, man. Think about it. Like, really, I mean, this is like the basic level of thing. This is the first level of thing. You know, you just see two pretty cards, like 6-4 off, and you call. Period. A 6-4 suited.
Right.
A 6-4 off. So yes, in a min 3-bet pot situation, I think that he has 6-4 suited. Like, I'm pretty sure of it.
This is almost a 5x 4-bet.
Yeah.
Do you like that sizing against unknowns?
Yes. I mean, yes, I love it without end. Like, I'm gonna do it completely exploitatively, all right? So if I have aces, kings, or queens, I'll go to 19. If I have like 9s and 10s and ace king and ace queen, I'm gonna pump it up very big, especially if it's suited, man. I mean, like they're not gonna fold and I have a drawy hand. The best play for me with this hand is to post flop. I mean, is to play it with such a stack to pot ratio where if I hit the right board texture, I just bet call. Or just give it up. Like if the board texture is something like 7, 8, 9, I give up. Like on 80 or like 70 to 80% of the board textures, I'm gonna stack off, and on like 20 to 30%, I'm just gonna give up against the fish. So if I can go for 29, I'll even go for 29. But yeah, you gotta put it in a calculator and just see on this board. Like this is something very interesting that you can guys do for yourself. We play 4-bet pots very rarely, but sometimes, especially versus the habitual min 3-betters, we do end up in those type of situations. So just throw in a couple of board textures and see how our equity looks like with the stack size. I mean, consider the fact that we are stacking off, obviously, and like play with a half pot bet call line if we get enough equity versus a lot of gut shots here. I think you should include for value, by the way, for value, don't include hands like sets, or if you include sets, include just half of them or like a very small portion, because if you bet 24 and he has a set of 5s, he's probably just gonna call, he's not gonna raise, right? So for value, include hands like Queen Jack, Ace Jack, King Jack, Jack 10, Jack 9, Jack 7, suited, and that's about it. Also for value, include hands like 8-9, 8-10, 8-7, 8-6 suited, and shit like that, right? These are the hands that are gonna raise, in my opinion. As far as for sets goes, you should probably include them in his calling range. And I don't know about 5s. Maybe half of the 5s he's gonna jam, the other half he's gonna call only. Again, I'm not sure about that. But I think sets he's gonna be slow playing. And as bluffs, just throw in all the straight draws, especially the suited combos, and a bunch of good shots, especially the suited combos. Because I think once we bet half pot, he's gonna jam those. And just see, without a heart, I think we're not gonna have enough equity. With a heart, I think it's gonna be pretty close, but I'm not sure. But it's gonna be interesting to see. All right. Oh, I mean, let's do one fast hand, but very, very fast. Okay. Okay, this looks like an easy one. So here raises 2. Okay, now this is an official min 3-bet pot. So we get a flush draw, bet half pot, call. I like it. bet 1/4, that's just fucking lovely. We call, that's perfect. And the river is check, check. I mean, what's the question here? Do I miss something here?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Can I,
No. You play the hand perfectly. He's never ever gonna freaking fold here. A better hand than yours. Never, not even an ace X. So in mid-3 bet pots in general, shy away from bluffing. Like what is happening here is that yes, you might make an argument that you should be raising, etc., etc., etc. I don't like it because if you raise, he's gonna continue with hands like pocket sevens, pocket sixes, pocket eights, pocket nines, pocket tens. He's going to have a bunch of traps. He's going to have like kings, queens, and aces. He's going to have ace jack, jack 10, a lot of jack X's. He doesn't have a 5, obviously, right? But once he, like, to me, this looks like a block bet with a hand like, you know, like pocket 5s. Not pocket 5s, but like pocket 6s. Or like pocket 4s. Or like, you know, like basically he's scared, but he's not folding. That's what he's trying to say. And it's very funny with the fish, maybe something you don't know, but like the majority of the fish, they block bet with hands like that, but they never fold. So it's kind of funny because like, for instance, this spot, if you have a jack, you can raise for value, all right? Easily. But if you have a hand like you have and you raise, like even if you make it 15 bucks and he has pocket sevens, he's not gonna fold, you know, that's the problem. So what they do is they block bet, but they don't use the purpose for the block bet, because usually when you block bet and the guy raises you, you gotta fold, right? Usually, but they don't fold, they call down. So
if I have a pocket eights here, for
I'm
example,
gonna call. Like with every hand, you should be calling, and with your stronger jacks, you can raise for value easily. Like if you have a hand like Jack Deuce suited, which you should be calling pre-flop, or like Jack 6, I'm just gonna call down because again, I think that he's gonna play a hand like King Jack like that as well. You know, like Queen Jack. They're just scared, you know, and this looks to me like a scared bet with a weak jack or a mid-strong jack or maybe even a very strong jack. I don't know anything about him, or like the pocket pairs in between. And if you have a hand like Jack 10 plus, you can make it eight bucks here, and you can value bet a safe river as well, half pot. So the idea with min 3 bet pots is the following: don't bluff them unless you have a lot of equity in the hand, and go very very thin for value. That's the main goal. All right, but not extremely thin, but not like super duper thin. So I like how you played it, and I don't think you missed anything. I know that you have your doubts probably, but I think, and like especially when he checks the river, I'm pretty sure he has a hand like pocket sevens or like a weak jack, like Jack 10 or like Jack 9 or some shit like that, if he checks this king.
yeah, probably something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, maybe a bluff. No. Dmitry better take odds and straight. Yeah, you're like, you played the hand perfectly, man. Like not much to say about it. And like this super important hand to be seen, because like I know what you're thinking and you're like, hey, I gotta bluff him. No, man, you cannot bluff him. That's the problem. Yes, it looks like a good option to do it, but you cannot. That's the problem. All right, maybe it's a little bit close. Like if you had King Queen of clubs with 2 overcards, you can go for a big raise on the turn and a big bluff on the river. But again, like whenever the guy bets like this and gives you such good odds to continue, and sometimes you're even gonna end up with the best hand here with Queen High, as crazy as it sounds, it's gonna happen. A very, very small portion of the time, but it is gonna happen. And he gives you such good odds. I'm always gonna play it like you did.
I think with King Queen I would raise the flop.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I forgot that. You can even raise it with this hand because you still have 1 overcard, and you can definitely raise it. But you know, it's not like he's betting
Necessary to do.
Yeah, I mean, like the way he plays the hand is he's making huge mistakes. He's giving you the opportunity to win the hand for a very, very cheap price. You know, like if you put this into a calculator, you're gonna see that like he's doing a humongous mistake here versus your particular hand. Maybe not versus your range, but versus your hand, you know, and especially with his turn bet. On the flop bet, it's not a huge no mistake, but with the turn bet, he's doing a humongous mistake. and you just gotta capitalize on that. And like, if you choose to raise, I don't think it's the end of the world, but you're gonna be raising in a spot where opponents usually don't fold better hands, you know, so it's not like the best spot to do so, right? So whenever it's not the best spot to bluff, just try to bluff when you have like massive equity. With 2 overcards, you can definitely go for it. Especially when you assume that both of those cards are gonna make the best hand for you. So yeah, well played. Okay, guys, so that's it for today. I think that's it for this month as well. Maybe not, let's see. Oh, we have one more. HUD reading and adaptations, all empowerment. Okay, so we have one last topic about how to read HUD stats. We're gonna discuss this one next week. And also all the other questions that you have, you can put it in. Now the sessions are such that we have a topic plus all the other questions that you have. Okay, guys, good luck at the tables. Talk to you next week then. See ya.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.